Get in, nerds. We're playing Victoria 3. We're still playing in Scandinavia, and we're in the process of doing a big communism. Um, right now, I think one of the primary things I'm realizing is that one of the things we need to do to continue to develop is we need to have a lot of jobs available, and that means overbuilding a lot of these resources that we are kind of producing as much as we can of. So I'm going to work on that today. And what it means we're going to do is we're going to be exporting a certain amount of resources that we would normally. We're going to try to be setting up resource exports. So right now, let's take a look at like good places. Okay, so the Russian market's got steel that they're is willing to buy our steel. So that's something I'm definitely going to get in on. What's this? This is communist Bavaria. I'm going to decline. Again, we're not messy communists here. We're not doing a bunch of stuff out in Europe. South Africa abandoned. Yeah, okay, a bunch of countries abandoned Great Britain. So there is a steel market. So we're going to go ahead and manufacture some more steel. Although this Jotunland needs some railways, so we're going to do a couple of those as well. Going to pop those up to the top to make sure they get done first, or at least at the same time as the steel mills, which they should. These are going to be 22 weeks. These are going to be 20. Okay, so it's one less, but whatever it is. Hanoverian religious revolt is, curious. I'm going to decline though, because again, I'm not playing about this business. Someone wants graduated taxation, but I don't desire graduated taxation. Our current economic development plan is going to be pretty rough on our finances. I don't really have a great way of solving that problem, but we're just going to kind of keep going as we're going. This will change up our economy a lot. So cooperative ownership, what this is going to do is this is going to turn these a lot of these buildings into workers' cooperatives. That's going to put ownership into the hands of shopkeepers, and that's going to be really, really different. So what that's going to do is it's going to reduce the number of capitalists in our society by a huge amount, which means the standard of living for the upper stratum is going to go down, but the standard of living for the middle and lower strata is going to skyrocket. And you'll see kind of how that goes. It also is going to change up our demand for market goods. And, oh, I can get a bunch of rubber from France. That's excellent. A lot of markets I can get rubber from. Import out for opium, we can get it from Russia. That's because China is still in the Russian market, isn't it? Yes. Oh, my goodness. Russia has really expanded its market significantly. A big plan of economic imperialism. Austria has had a liberal revolt, it looks like. I'm not too concerned about that. How much of the budget are we using on construction? Okay, so we do still need to continue with that. What else? We do. We are exporting a lot of cars. So I could grab some of these motor industries and get them producing, get at least some of them producing cars. It's 150. I don't need that many more cars. But that's our lowest level. What if I just turned the Jutland? Well, that would be the same one. Schleswig-Holstein. That's where we're going to produce cars. And we're going to put Scania back to prioritize engine production. And that means Schleswig-Holstein is going to produce all the cars we need. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. So that's going to be good. Unfortunately, a lot of the goods that we're producing that we need more of, that we're low on, are goods that are produced by these, like, are not things we're producing in our own market. Sicily sides with Spain. Spanish liberal revolt. Yeah. There's a big. Oh, I'm in the market view still. Yeah, I was gonna say this is making Europe look really interesting. There is some demand for radios. I'm still working on NCO training. That's gonna deal with that. Do my okay? Yes, I have one set of Electrics Industries producing radios. Let's see if I can export some of these telephones. Telephones are very affordable in my market. Alright, so this is cooperative ownership. This is really going to change stuff up. But right now we're looking for telephones. Where are telephones? Here they are. Huh, nobody wants my telephones. Well, that's curious. So Great Britain... Oh, wow. My goodness, what is going on over here? Great Britain is having a liberal revolt. Sorry, a capitalist revolt. A Republican capitalist revolt. How curious. And the old Great Britain wants our help. But sadly, I don't desire to intervene. And the same is true with Spain. Everything's kind of on fire in Europe, but I'm just trying to relax and not do anything. I think one thing we want to try and do... Oh. Huh. We started producing more cars, and now more people want cars, which is good. I think maybe we'll put Scania back on producing cars. Maybe. We'll see how that goes. So as you can see, now all our industry is workers' cooperatives, and that's going to change a lot of stuff. The industrialists are very angry, but they are going to significantly decrease in power pretty fast at this point. So keep in mind they're at 13.1%, and that number is going to go down. Right now, what's my priority here? Oh, I need to pick another tech. So what do I need? This would help me automate my farming, which would be good. So would this. Nitrogen fixation would make my farms more productive. Let's get working on the Tier 4 naval techs. Is there anything in society that I really need? Certainly don't need mass surveillance for anything. Modern financial instruments would be nice. Macroeconomics. Ooh, actually, macroeconomics would be really nice. I'm going to put that in. So that's going to be 26 months. Yeah, that should be just fine. We've still got plenty of innovation. Yeah, and we're almost done with the Tier 4s. I'm going to finish out psychoanalysis and then get macroeconomics, and that's going to help. And then for military, we're going to do the other modern naval ones. Alright, so I've increased the number of steel mills. It should reduce their productivity a little, but it's also going to tank the price of steel. Let's see. Excellent. Who wants to purchase steel? Well, Prussia does, and France does. I actually think this policy is a winner, so I'm going to go ahead and build another round of steel mills. So where have I got? I've actually got a ton of labor available. This is a little bit of a surprise. We've got a lot of excess infrastructure in Western Norway, so let's start there. Yes, and we changed our method here. So I'm going to put on squad infantry for these buildings. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get our electrics industries producing all the radios we need. How many total radios? We're going to need 130 radios. And currently we're producing 120. Okay, well that should be fine. Go ahead and unpause that. That's going to make this building very productive. And that'll raise the price of radios. Or not the price. I mean, it is raising the price. This is the number being produced. All the orders are coming from barracks right now, but soon they'll be doing just fine. And after a little bit, we'll just generally be in a really good spot in terms of our overall military situation. Because the key thing about being communist power is that it's very capitalist powers will mess with you. That was a big recent update. I'm going to look at the glass situation. So we're producing a good amount of glass. Where's porcelain? Porcelain's... We need to export more porcelain. Export porcelain to Prussia. That's really surprising. It's really surprising that our glassworks are not super productive. Someone else is very good. That's going to get that done, and then we're going to have our other thing. Why are we still only producing 73? Is this still going up? Yes. Okay. Just making sure about that. Let's see if we can't sell glass abroad. Oh, we can sell a lot of glass. Wonderful. That's going to make our glassworks much, much more productive. So as you can see, our lower stratum wealth has increased by 3 levels since we went to workers' collectives. And the same, we've also seen our middle stratum go up. So primarily, our upper stratum consists entirely of the part owners of our farms, which are all aristocrats. And what that's doing is it's really tanking the power of the free-minded Venstre, of the industrialists. I'm going to let that go a little longer before I make more changes, because I don't want them to get too mad. Right. Yeah, so we're bankrolling Finland. We're doing well financially, but in terms of employment, we're still pretty low. How have I done with the steel market? Okay. No more steel demand right now at current prices, so I'm not going to expand steel much more now. Alright, what else? Oh, there's a lot of lead demand. Oh, we're getting lead. Oh, right. I bet we can't produce more lead mines. Yep, that's right. That's a thing. I remember about that. Alright, so, what else? Still a huge demand for electricity. Technically, we can go to coal-fired, but I have such a huge... How's my coal situation? Where's coal? Am I silly? Yeah, coal's still... We're really tight on coal still. I've got so much excess fertilizer. I'm just gonna sell as much of that as I can abroad. Am I maxed out on ports? Largely, yes. I can build a bunch more in Gotland. And a bunch more in Iceland. Which I very well might do, actually, at this point. Global demand is for a lot of, like, plantation goods. Okay, here we go. We have some pops consuming radios. That's very good. Does anyone want to buy radios? Not yet. So we'll grab some more of our electrics industries, and we'll get them producing radios. Oh, there's actually one in production already in Jotunland. So we're pretty good on that front. A lot of our buildings are less productive now, which is to be expected. I think because we're so heavy on fertilizer, I'm just going to drop the number of fertilizers we're producing, and that's going to make these buildings a lot more productive. And that's going to put fertilizer in a place much closer to balance. Alright, so our chemical plants become a little lower tech, but that's okay. Interestingly, our paper mills are low productivity. And our glassworks are really low productivity. Is it because they can't afford the oil? Is that what's going on over here? See, I don't want to be de-automating industries, but I feel like I might have to a certain extent. Okay. Just going to take another run through our trade routes. We're exporting art to France unproductively, so we can stop doing that. Silk, same thing. That's right. We're a big silk producer now. Luxury clothes we're exporting to Russia. We don't... That's not useful to us. Paper we're exporting to Prussia. It's not good. Oh, interesting. Our route to the UK with... Oh, well, a bunch of our routes to the UK are goofed up because... Huh. I guess they're not in a civil war anymore. Great. So... I think we might do a little bit of de-automation, because right now I'm still kind of at a point where I've got a lot of unemployment, and I do have the money to build up industry, but I'm kind of at a decent economic balance. So, in particular, let's go back to manual glass blowing. That's going to make that's going to make those buildings way more productive. So that's going to ease our tools and our oil situation significantly. Alright, so next I'm going to look at chemical plants. We already did that. Why are they unproductive again? Chemical plants, what's the matter, you? Oh. We have an excess of explosives. That's a surprise. Well, Russia's importing our explosives, so that should sort that out. Paper mills, I'm going to go back one. Well, they've become productive again. Let's see what paper looks like. Paper is here. I'm sure. Yeah, there are tons of markets for paper. Yeah, I don't need to de-automate that. We can continue to produce paper productively. So what else? Silk is still expensive. I feel like... How are these synthetics plants so unproductive? Oh, these are the dyes ones. Well, we can certainly export dyes. Everyone loves dyes. Let's see. Oh, wow. That should help with the price. Something funny happened with dyes. We've gotten to number 5. We've surpassed Austria in total prestige. It's going to be a long jump to get up above the United States, but I think we're doing well with that. How's unemployment? Unemployment is down since we de-automated our glassworks. Chemical plants don't have an automation feature. But it thinks it will be more productive under improved. So let's... No. It doesn't like that. I don't know. It's curious. But the synthetics plants might be more productive if we went to silk. Because the silk, we could use more silk in our market. Let's give it a shot. Let's grab the ones in Scandinavia. And then we'll move eastern Norway over to Rayon, and hopefully that'll give us a better balance. See, one of the problems is because the private sector does a lot of this stuff, I'm not necessarily doing it myself. And that's different. What else? Overly enthusiastic partisans. Let's take a look at that. Supporters of the fascist party have gone beyond simply campaigning for their own party, harassing and sometimes physically attacking opposing partisans. That's never happened before in history. Flavor text is, I'm a simple party man, that's all. I know who I like, I know who I don't like, and I know I want my people to win and their people to lose. We're going to crack down on fascist party activities, probably. Gives them minus 10% momentum. Or if we let them continue unmolested, that'll reduce the strength of the trade unions. So yeah, we'll crack down. So what else can I do with this market? The problem is there's just not that much global demand for a lot of the things we're producing a ton of right now, which is a surprise. Sell some fish to France. Export route to Russia is unproductive. This is really surprising because typically you get into the late game and there's just a lot of markets for goods. I've never seen this before. Our finances are doing well, but I really don't want to start doing a colonialism. So let's see what markets look like. Coal's very expensive in the Brazilian market too. So I'm just looking for places where I could... I know there are situations like Cuba. You and I could be on good terms. I would like to have Cuba in my market. Same with IT. We'll get started on those. Maybe those will be productive for us. The United States and Mexico are fighting. Oh, I hate it when you guys fight. They're trying to regime change Mexico, grab Honduras, and humiliate Russia. Interesting. Russia's in on that. Oh, that's right. Russia controls Alaska still, as was done historically. How about you, Dynon? I have a fondness for Dynon. I had a very productive run as Dynon at one point. So that's kind of one of my favorite countries to play. As you can see, our loyalists are through the roof now. Our standard of living is huge. Positively ridiculous. And very sort of balanced at this point, with our average standard of living being very high. In fact, I think I'm going to hike these back to water tube boiler. That's going to make them more productive by a little bit. That puts unemployment down at 195,000. Steel mills became unproductive. Let's do... That's so little coal by comparison, but let's see if it helps. It helps a lot. Alright, alright. I'm liking this. Just, again, we have to keep an eye on standard of living, but we're currently #1 for standard of living by a country mile. So yes, and I think with the price of coal having gone down by a little bit, and we can reduce it further. Well, if we had an oil cost and reduce coal cost, that might be able to hyper-automate this building, and that would be the motor industries. I'm going to click this button and see what happens. Okay, they stay productive. That's good. That's what we want. I want to continue to reduce coal prices, because I think the thing about this is we might actually get to the range where we can have coal-fired power plants, and that would produce just a ton more electricity. But our coal balance is a little rough. Still, I think we can handle it. I sure would love to have coal-fired power plants. Let's do it. Haha, they're completely unproductive now. Excellent. That's exactly what I wanted. Let's swap this over to some lands here, maybe? Okay. I always keep arms industries and munitions plants in the highest level of automation. I think they're silly. Okay, all of our places producing radios, or one place producing radios, is way more productive. Let's pop these ones into radio production. I don't want to overproduce radios, but it's clear there's a market for radios. Still can't export it, although I think that mostly has to do with the fact that we're producing so few of them. Pop us back to speed 3 here. I'm going to go on, I'm going to skip the rest of Dreaming with the Future and Death March. A thing that I always do. This is going to keep coal very expensive in our market, but our power plants... No, our power plants have ceased to be productive. What if I subsidized them? How much would that actually cost me? 122k. Yeah, no, that's not good. Can't afford that. It's a shame, though, because power is a major barrier. What if I did only half of them? Like... Oh, I've tanked the price of electricity. That's what's going on. Okay, I didn't realize I was so high up on the electricity prices. Alright, I think we're good with that. We're just going to have to stay on hydropower. 181k unemployed, that's not bad at all. So, but what can we produce more of? This is the struggle. I mean, I think it's power, truthfully. Like, I don't know what else to say. What buildings are buying all this coal? Well, I see, it's a lot of the rural buildings. Alright, well that just kind of is what it is. That said, the power plants are still productive, so let's get more of them. Let's build up a set in Scandinavia. Alright. We've had an election again. Labour has mostly won. And the communists have as well. We are at as high legitimacy a government as we can be right now, so I don't think we need to reform. Free-minded Venstre is down to 5.1% clout, so let's go ahead and make our other change. There's one other change that we want to do in order to achieve full communism, and that is to move from homesteading to collectivized agriculture. Interestingly, the rural folk oppose this change, but it's not necessarily something I need to concern myself with. This will radicalize the industrialists. That's not a shocker, but they're pretty much marginalized. How long... So you need to see how... if they go lower. Because if they go lower... Nah, they're currently too weak to be a problem. Let's go ahead and do it. Let's go ahead and get started with that. And that's going to be the last sort of major shift towards communist government. Communist social structure, rather. And then we'll just kind of see what else needs to be changed as the market changes. I would love to be a big silk producer. Let me try a little experiment here. Let me put all these on producing rayon, and then we'll set up as many silk trade routes as we can. And we'll just start exporting the brains out of silk. Because that's going to make silk dirt cheap in our market. Yeah, look at that. Alright, so... Can I declare more interests to get access to more markets? Not really. I have access to a lot of the markets in the world. Okay, I can't produce this much silk, clearly. So we'll grab some of our synthetics plants and pop them back on dye production. The main ones, really. So what does that do to the silk market? We're still pretty good. I'm still exporting a lot of silk, so I think we could have a few of them on... But you see, these buildings are so unproductive. Why are you guys unproductive? You're producing stuff that's really valuable. I don't understand it. It's curious. It's a lot of micromanagement, but it's worth. In the long run. Still nothing particularly impressive for me to build. Campaign of banquets. Herman Anderson's attendance at... Yes, okay, yes, we've seen this before. Herman Anderson, you're not helping with this, right? Yeah, you're working on graduated taxation. We'll do this one. We'll reduce his power. That'll reduce the radicalization from that movement. Great Britain's global empire is continuing to kind of fall apart, but that just sort of is what it is. Is Canada still a dominion? Yes, it is. South Africa was puppeted by France. Ah, infertile grounds. Wonderful. Herman Anderson has decided to not worry about stuff anymore. Cool. Give it a rest. Our rank has fallen. Why has our rank fallen? Our rank has fallen below Prussia and Austria. That's sad. That's very sad. I think it's time to expand our navies. Not by too much, obviously. What's that? That's 30? Yeah, that should be fine. Do a little naval expansion just to make sure that I'm not putting myself in a situation so I can get a little bit of an increase in naval power projection. And by power projection, I, of course, don't mean anything. Hey, we got up to stage 2. Related to our power plants, but related to all our naval stuff. I feel like my finances in this run have never been as good as I want them to be. Let's take a look at where we are with... So we're at pretty high attraction, particularly in our capital. Mostly because of all the trade centers, because standard of living is very high, and because there's employment available. Which is good. That's what we want to be happening. And to supplement that, I think I'm going to max myself out on ports. And all these other places. And that's going to fill those with a boatload of... yeah, boatload. Oh, I cracked myself up. What a hero. With a boatload of infrastructure and available jobs, and hopefully that'll pull people in. Our population is still really, really high, and continuing to grow. We're only number 14 globally, but, you know, we've had a long way to go from where we started. Just kidding. I don't know where we were globally when we started. But with that having been said, it's time to put a pin in it. I've had fun. I hope you all have had fun. And I'll see you all on the other side.